The Zephyrian delegation materialized in the sterile white conference chamber aboard Station Nexus with their characteristic shimmer of quantum displacement. Ambassador Crixtal's crystalline form pulsed with what Dr. Elena Vasquez had learned to recognize as barely contained amusement. The lead xenobiologist of the Human Diplomatic Corps watched as the alien's faceted surface reflected the harsh artificial light, creating rainbow patterns across the metal walls. Such delicate creatures, Crixtal's voice resonated through the translation matrix, each word dripping with condescension. Your species fascinates us humans. So, breakable. Elena maintained her composure, though her jaw tightened imperceptibly. 3 months of negotiations with the Zephyrian Collective had followed this same pattern. The aliens, masters of 1,000 worlds, viewed humanity as little more than an amusing curiosity, a species that had somehow stumbled into spaceflight, despite their obvious physical limitations. Our fragility hasn't prevented us from reaching the stars, Elena replied evenly, gesturing toward the viewport where Earth's moon hung like a pearl against the cosmic darkness. The Zephyrian's crystalline body vibrated with what the translation software rendered as laughter. Indeed, we find it remarkable that such soft, vulnerable beings could survive their own homeworld, let alone venture beyond it. Your bones break, your skin tears, your organs fail. Most fascinating. Commander Sarah Chen, seated beside Elena, leaned forward. Her weathered face bore the scars of countless operations in the outer colonies. Appearances can be deceiving, Ambassador. Can they? Crixtal's surface brightened, a sign of increased interest. We have studied your species extensively. Your cellular regeneration is laughably primitive compared to our quantum crystalline matrix. We can reconstitute our entire being from a single fragment. You cannot even regrow a severed limb. Elena exchanged a glance with Chen. They had discussed this moment in their pre-negotiation briefings, knowing it would come. The Zephyrian's superiority complex was well documented. What they didn't understand was that human fragility was often their greatest strength. You're correct that we can't regrow limbs, Elena said carefully. But regeneration takes many forms. The ambient temperature in the chamber dropped several degrees as Crixtal's interest sharpened. Explain. Elena stood and walked to the central holographic display. With a gesture, she activated a 3-dimensional map of human space, hundreds of star systems connected by trade routes and communication networks. When the Kepler colony was destroyed by the supernova in Wolf 359, we lost 12 million people. Yes, Crixtal acknowledged. A tragic demonstration of human fragility. Your people died in moments. They did, Elena continued, her voice steady. But within 6 months, we had established 3 new colonies in neighboring systems. The survivors didn't just rebuild, they created something better. Stronger infrastructure, improved life support systems, enhanced radiation shielding. The Zephyrian's glow dimmed slightly. Replacement is not regeneration. Commander Chen stood, her movements deliberate. Tell me, Ambassador, what happens when one of your people is completely destroyed? When there's no fragment left to reconstitute? That is extremely rare, Crixtal replied, though something in the alien's tone suggested this was a sensitive topic. But it does happen, Chen pressed. And when it does, that individual, their memories, their experiences, their unique perspective is gone forever. Elena pulled up another display, this one showing the genetic diversity indices of human colonies across the galaxy. When humans die, we don't just lose individuals. We lose parents, teachers, friends, people who shape others, who pass on knowledge, who inspire new generations. But that knowledge, that spirit, that essence of who they were, it lives on in those they touched. The hologram shifted to show cultural propagation patterns, how human art, philosophy, and scientific discoveries spread through the colonies like ripples in a pond. When the plague struck the Arcturus settlements, we lost Professor Martinez, one of our greatest quantum theorists. But her students carried her work forward. They didn't just remember her equations, they improved upon them, expanded them, made them part of something larger. Kriegstahl's form began to pulse irregularly. This is merely intellectual continuity, not true regeneration. Is it? Elena challenged. You regenerate your crystalline matrix, but do you grow? Do you change? When a Zephyrian reconstitutes, are they exactly the same as before? Yes, of course. That is the point of regeneration, perfect restoration. Commander Chen smiled grimly. Then you never truly heal. You just reset. The silence that followed was deafening. Elena could see the alien's quantum matrix fluctuating, processing this new perspective. She pressed her advantage. Human regeneration isn't about returning to what we were. It's about becoming something more. When we lose a limb, we create tools that are stronger than bone and muscle. When we lose a world, we build better ones. When we lose our people, their dreams and discoveries become the foundation for achievements they never could have imagined. Elena activated one final display, a timeline of human expansion into space. You see weakness where there is adaptation. You see fragility where there is resilience. Every setback makes us more determined. Every loss teaches us to value what remains. Every death inspires new life. The Zephyrian ambassador was silent for a long moment, his crystalline form dim and still. When he finally spoke, his voice carried a new weight. We had not considered this perspective. In our 1,000-year existence, we have remained essentially unchanged. Perfect, but static. Growth requires vulnerability, Elena said gently. You can't learn from what doesn't challenge you. You can't become stronger without first being broken. Kriegstahl's form brightened slowly, but this time the light was different, not the harsh glare of superiority, but something softer, more thoughtful. Perhaps there is more to learn from humanity than we initially calculated. Commander Chen leaned back in her chair. That's the thing about humans, Ambassador. We're full of surprises. As the Zephyrian delegation prepared to depart, Elena watched the quantum shimmer that preceded their transportation. She wondered if, for the first time in their species' history, they might return to their homeworld, changed by the encounter, carrying something new within their perfect crystalline matrices. The greatest regeneration, she reflected, wasn't always about healing what was broken. Sometimes it was about discovering that what you thought was weakness was actually your greatest strength.